Verse 26, the righteous searcheth out his neighbor, but the way of the lawless seduceth them. In other words, the righteous man wants to help his neighbor, but there's some neighbors that are going to try to hurt you, and we need to be very careful. The righteous man, if he finds you're wrong, he's going to come and talk to you about it and face you with it. Nathan was the best friend David ever had, and yet it was Nathan who had the courage to point his finger and said, you're the man, something you've got to straighten out in your life. Well, how wonderful that is to recognize that we've got a good friend, one of the best friends I ever had, a man who helped me through school. And when I first started in the ministry, the Lord was gracious to me, let me be pastor of a church. It had been my home church where people loved me, and they were very sympathetic with me because I was pretty much of an amateur to be pastor of such a large and prominent church in that day. But they were very good to me, and I never shall forget, I heard a man speak at Winona Lake, and to me he was great. And I tried to imitate him. I even tried to imitate his accent. And my church discovered that. They'd just sit there and smile. But very few said anything about it at all. And I received no harsh criticism. This man who'd helped me through school, he invited me to lunch. He said to me just one thing, and I never shall forget it. It was a good proverb. He said, Vernon, we would rather have a genuine Vernon McGee than an imitation anybody else. That's all he said. And friends, that's all he needed to say. Then from then on, I began being Vernon McGee. Now, that may not have been good, but it was better than trying to imitate somebody else. How forcible are right words. And the righteous, he searcheth out his neighbor. He helps his neighbor. But the lawless, he'll seduce him. He goes over and pats him on the back, and then when his back is turned, he crucifies him. My, how these Proverbs gear right down into your neighborhood, right down into your church, right down where you work today. Now, verse 27, and some of them are rather humorous. This one is, the slothful man roasteth not that which he took in hunting. In other words, he went out and shot a deer, but he was too lazy to skin the deer and cut up the meat, cook it and eat it. You've got to be lazy to be like that as a hunter. And there's many a fisherman that'll fish and won't clean the fish. But the substance, we're told, of a diligent man is precious. In other words, he takes care of that. And you remember Ruth, when she went out and gleaned in the field? Boaz had been generous to her, but you know, when she got home, we're told she beat out that which she had gleaned. I tell you, she was willing to take that which she had gotten in such an easy way, but she wanted to beat it out and make the grain. You know what she could have done? She could have come and thrown it down in front of Naomi and said, look what I done. I got it, now you beat it out. But she didn't do that. What a spirit is revealed here in this type of a life. Won't hurt you to wash the dishes every now and then. I've learned since I've retired, I belong to a club known as the Honey-Do Club, and I'm at home more now, and it's honey-do this and honey-do that. And I found out something that I quit doing a long time ago as a boy. Used to tell my mother, when I grow up, I'm never going to wash dishes again. Well, I must be in my second childhood because I'm washing them again. But it won't hurt you to do that, by the way. Verse 28, in the way of righteousness there is life, and in the pathway thereof there is no death. What a wonderful vista opens to the child of God. Now, physical death is ahead of us if the Lord tarry, but eternal life is out yonder. Proverbs are to be looked at in the light of eternity, and that ought to give you a good day with that before you, Christian.